Otaku Collective
Already
Podcast.
fucking up.
Hey, I got excited.
Already
I'm
fucking
sorry.
up.
I got excited.
No.
I got excited.
Okay.
That's
Intro.
going at the beginning of the pod
Yeah.
before the intro.
Yeah. This is like, you know, on YouTube video where they fucking put the extra clip to make people laugh.
Yeah, the blooper at the beginning.
Yeah, the blooper at the
that's
beginning.
that's
Bumble.
this.
Bumble it back. You a bum. I'm doing the intro. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Otaku Collective Podcast. I am your host for today, Josh, and I am joined by my boys, Lorenzo and Seth.
I like to be called so.
What's
Okay.
up? I'm
So,
Seth.
We're doing this today.
Yeah, I think we're gonna
Yeah.
do this today. But Lorenzo, because I'm introducing myself. I understand.
Right. It's our first day. We don't have to give the full government, but
Yeah.
Joshua is the government. All right, we've got Seth.
There we go. I feel better. With
Seth,
Seth, you got a government?
Seth, that is my name, Seth. Yep.
Yeah, we call Seth because that's just common sense. I go by Josh and Lorenzo goes by Joe. It's nice to meet all of you. This is our first podcast. I want this podcast, whether it makes money or not, to be an expression of what anime, manga, movies, whatever, pop culture means to me in general. Obviously, we'll be focusing on Japan pop culture
Yep.
and just Asian in general. You know what it means to really be an otaku. Where that's reading light novels, that's reading webtoons, manga, watching anime, etc., etc. I want this to be an escape from reality for 45 minutes to an hour and a half, whatever. Maybe we drop a 3-hour podcast. You listen if you want.
You might get a 15-minute rant from us. You'll just never know.
Right. But with all that said, I think since it's our first episode, we just give small introductions about who we are as people and how this podcast came to be and our relationship to each other. So, Seth, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Seth. I met Josh at college during my sophomore year. Developed a very good friendship with Josh throughout the years. Been through a lot with him. He tried to get me to watch anime from my junior year through senior year. I did not start watching anime though until October of 2020. Last time I was a student was in May of 2020, by the way, to give you a perspective on that. So again, I didn't start watching anime until October of 2020, and what's weird is what got me into anime. It wasn't like a recommendation that a friend gave me or anything like that. I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw a fight scene of Asta versus Seke whenever they're trying out for the Wizard Squads in Black Clover. And I saw that fight scene and it made me go, wow, I don't know what this is, but I want to watch it. And I watched Black Clover, watched it all the way through up to the point that it was currently out. So I think it was around episode 142 or 145. I watched it all in 2 weeks. And then I kept going down the rabbit hole that is anime, and I fell in love with it. And here I find myself relating on another level with Josh about anime now. We used to talk about sports and life and video games and things like that, which is all things that we'll be discussing on this pod. But now I can also talk about anime as well, and how much I love different shows and things like that with Josh and Zoe. And now moving on to how I met Zoe. I met Zoe in through work. We kind of had convos in Josh's comments over Facebook here and there, just about different sporting events or life things or WWE or anything like that. And Now me and Zoe just so happen to work at the same job, and Josh and Zoe have known each other for a lot longer than I've known Josh, and they'll get into that whenever they talk. Um, but that's how I met Zoe. I've known Zoe since July now, and it is September now, and so haven't known Zoe for very long, but it feels like I've known him a lot longer. Um, but that's about it for me. Zoe would
I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to
nah.
say in my head, I've known you for a couple years. That's what's so weird to me
Yeah,
about
yeah, no, because
I just
because we
realized
were
we really did just meet in July. But like I feel like cause like even when we just do our little talks on Facebook in the comments, I don't know. You like I'm commenting on a lot with a lot of people. And to be real self, and I guess I hate to get deep in front of everyone like this, but like I guess I felt somewhat a connection with you, like something that didn't
yeah.
just went away. Cause like when they, first brought you up that hey, we've hired this new guy to come to the job, they said your name. It's not like I didn't know, like it clicked and I got like a weird feel of like, of like excitement, like, oh snap, this is the dude I know. It wasn't like,
Hmm.
who the heck is that?
Hmm.
And I
Yep.
remember that. And I just wanted to say that because you were like, when you said July, it really just blew my mind. Like, dang.
And it was
You know,
late July. It was like July like 20th
so
whenever I got hired.
it's been a solid month and a little change, but you've been my boy, man. I really want to say I appreciate you, man. We've been, what I'm saying, we've talked on the personal tip when we had our talk, and you really been here, and I want to say I appreciate you.
For sure, for sure.
Well,
Um
I was gonna use this as the segue because I didn't
oh
know you.
yeah, for sure. No,
Yeah, I was just trying to help my boy out. We're gonna segue over to me, y'all.
Always interrupting.
You said what, my man John?
Always interrupting somebody, man.
I know, but he was starting to. He needed a little.
I
Yeah,
was I was
He
segueing
needed
it.
a little,
I was
yeah.
segueing to you.
He, this
yeah, he
man
kind of
got it. You
was.
don't have to push this man along like he like 8 or 9, bro. But go ahead,
Nah,
Zoe.
nah,
Introduce yourself to the audience.
nah, it wasn't. To be honest, Josh, really, he knows what I'm talking about. We had a personal like talk
No,
about
I
our
get it. I
connection.
get it for sure. Because there
Yeah,
are definitely people I know on Facebook through others that I've bonded with, especially during like COVID, because I didn't really have anything else to do. But that's
yeah.
neither here nor there right now.
Yep.
So go ahead with your intro.
Yeah. So hey, y'all, my name's Lorenzo. I'll go ahead and call it out now. But everybody call me Zoe. That's a name that kind of flew into me, so I've been rolling with it since I got it. Um, the way my anime kind of started, I kind of want to start with the anime because it leads into the friend part. I started with anime at a young age of 5, 6 with my cousin and my brother drawing anime characters. Neither of them are drawers. They're like what my brother drew, but my cousin, I guess, drew little thing, but neither of them were real drawers, but they drew these anime characters to the T. Like they were really good at it. And the funny thing about it was just like as I was growing up, I was like, okay, let's start. So my first was, starting with DBZ because that's who they were, the characters they were drawing. And then I segued myself, I seen a couple, I can't remember every anime I saw on Toonami, but Naruto stuck with me the hardest. And that was before I knew anyone else watching Naruto. This was by myself. I didn't even talk about it. And Naruto hit hard with me, the young Naruto. So after that, I think from there it was over with. After Naruto, I was all in the anime, period. One Piece, all of it. So I was really quiet about my anime life, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna just be real, and it might be a little different from my boy Seth and my boy Josh, but I wasn't really allowed to be a nerd around the people I was around. Like my family, I could. I had my couple family members I just mentioned, but I wasn't hanging around the people where I could be a nerd around. I'm just gonna say it like that. And I would hold a lot of it in. I do it at home, watch it at home, my private time, come out, never talk about it to anybody. Then I met Josh, and I met Josh early on when I first moved to the southern part of the United States. I'll say it like that. And I met Josh early on in this part, a new chapter of my life, and he was just, you're the only one, honestly, I can't remember the rest of them, but you're the only one that I remember I was able to just be real with on all tips. I could talk to you about life, just like he said, and sports and WWE, but I also could bring the anime tip to you. And
Right.
that was so, And I remember us clicking up. Literally, we had our own clique to the point where we may not have been the cool clique, but we had our own clique. And
yeah, we did, man.
Over time, to really look back at it, people started trying to join our clique. If you be real, like people just started segue in when really it was only like a few of us. And then by the time we reached high school, we had a group. We was going to Midtown 9 people deep, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I really, like I said, Josh, you've been here. That's been my boy. He's been here for a long time. He's met my folks. I've met his folks. That's the boy.
Yeah, that's true.
We went to college, and college, like it does, it did what it did. But people move on and everything.
Right.
We did try, but college did what it did. And in college, it kind of happened to me again on the anime tip. Like, I was being quiet about it again. I literally regressed instead of progressed because I started, by the time I got senior year of high school, I didn't care who knew I watched anime. But I regressed in college. And I think it was 2017. I had got my first apartment with an ex-girlfriend, and we weren't buying cable. We were not buying cable. We was like, we're saving that money. And I remember her finding her stuff to watch. I think she had Netflix, and I had to find something for me. And I remember going online, and I can't even remember how I found the website. I found this anime website that I've been rocking with since 2017. And literally that started the deep anime journey. Like, since 2017, I can tell you I've watched more anime than I've watched sports. I hate to say it like that. I watch sports like hard. I really do. But I mean, I come home from work, I'm popping on an anime episode. Even my friends I've made over time know, okay, he just got off work, give him 20 minutes, he need to watch his anime episode. Stuff like that. So that flowed into me not caring again and finally accepting who I was as an anime person. Started wearing memorabilia, all that. Met some great people through that. And there goes Seth. Was talking on Facebook a couple times with him. Never thought we'd be here today, and here we are. And like I knew, I took a gamble with Seth because I was like, because I don't remember talking much anime with you, Seth. But I jumped in, and I remember when I first said hey to you, and I just went straight into it. And then you told me I don't want to, call it out, but you started talking about Black Clover, and from there it was over with. We was hooked.
Yep.
That was the conversation that was needed. Like, even though you watch some different anime, and I'm pretty sure I watched some different anime. When you said Black Clover, it was like it became a 2 peas in a pod thing. Like, there was one thing forever we're gonna agree on, and that's Black Clover.
Yep.
No questions asked. Period.
Whenever I met you,
what'd you say?
I was gonna say that whenever I met you, I think you saw me eating lunch or whatever. And I had an anime up on my phone or whatever, and you asked me what I was watching. I forget what I was watching at the time. I think it was just like a seasonal or whatever. But you said, "Oh, you're watching anime. I watch anime too." And then I asked, like, "Do you watch Black Clover?" Because that's the first question that I ask whenever I learn somebody else watches anime. And you got a very big smile on your face and was like, okay, we're bros at this point.
That's real. That's exactly what happened. The smile part, if anyone knows Zoe, if anybody knows Zoe, y'all know when that smile come up, you got me. I can't hold that in. Like, he knew it was up there. So that's how I got. After that with Seth, it you know what I'm saying? It just flowed. Me and Seth been cool ever since anime days and all. So yeah, man, that's like I said, how I got into anime. That's how I've stayed in the anime. I'm slowly getting into the manga part. I know we didn't say that. I mean, you feel me? I'm a very visual guy. As a video guy, I always chose anime over manga. But learning that, visual comes from, from books. Like, physical video things come from books mostly. You got great movies coming from books. So I'm starting to appreciate books more. So we'll get me into the manga tip later. But right now, I'm animated out. I want to say that to everyone watch. I'm animated out. Because they're going to be like, what manga you need to? I'm animated out. You feel me? Is there an anime for it? I'll read it. If there's not, you're going to have to give me some time. And that's me right there, Josh, Big Dog. I think it's time for you because I feel like your story is gonna be a whole. Seth's was pretty, simple. Mine's got a little complex, but yours seemed like it's gonna be a good,
Uh,
a good one. What's this saying like?
yeah, no, okay. I guess since you brought up anime, and I'll go ahead and talk about it. Luckily for me, I've always been very confident in my own skin. Uh, Now I've always known I was different. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I always knew I wasn't cookie cutter. I didn't fit the mold of typical um suburban or I don't want to say ghetto. 'Cause I didn't grow up
I
in
know,
ghetto.
I know what
But
you mean.
yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt.
I wasn't like the kids in the neighborhood, and that's fine to me, right? I found anime and manga at a very early age. Uh, First thing I remember watching as a kid was probably either Dragon Ball Z, uh, Sailor Moon, or Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, Pokemon's an obvious one too, but I feel like it's disassociated itself at this point. Like people recognize Pokemon and they think, oh, that's a cartoon. Before people think, oh, Pokemon came from Japan, that's an anime. And so I feel like if my first like big boy anime was probably either Dragon Ball Z or like Ronin Warriors or something in that category, like a '90s anime that started playing on Toonami. I remember staying up super late to watch Cowboy Bebop when the original Adult Swim came out. Like when the kids out of the pool, like vignette with the old people, and Cowboy Bebop was literally the only anime in the list, but they played like C Lab 2021, uh, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, The Brack Show, stuff like that.
Oh
Aqua
my
Teen Hunger
god,
Force. Yeah, the original Adult
the
Swim lineup.
original.
Yeah, really got me into anime, and I found Cowboy Bebop, and I loved it. And I kind of just branched out from there. So I went out and found the original Dragon Ball, which is something I love to death. I started watching Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and it just grew from there. I'd go to the library and I would check out solely manga. I mean, obviously, in school, I'd read like chapter books because I was always very advanced at a young age with my reading level. I think it was like a 10th grade in first or second. Um, Being able to, because I didn't have a lot of friends growing up, and I don't know if that was because of what I was doing or if it was a personal choice. I had a very tight knit group of friends, and that was it. Sports weren't really a thing for me besides like playing with my basketball ball outside at home or kicking a soccer ball around. I didn't do Little League. I didn't do Pop Warner. I didn't do any of that. I wrestled in high school, which was a very amazing experience. But other than that, I was usually at home either, doing chores, reading books, whether that was like Percy Jackson, Lemony Snicket, et cetera, or my main passion was watching, reading, and playing manga, anime, and anime related video games. And then I get to middle school, right? And I meet Zoe, and the connection is almost instant. Zoe's from Boston. I'm a New York fan. Now that was an instant connection because everybody down here was like what Miami. They loved Alabama. That was it. It was always college football, and that's it. I didn't really meet NBA fans for real until I got to high school. So Zoe's been like one of my day ones from the very beginning, and our relationship was absolutely solid from sixth grade to 12th. We I get to college. It's freshman year. You know how freshman year goes, people. If you've gone to college, it's so new and everything's different. You meet new people, you gain new experiences, and you begin to move away from your hometown. Especially because I didn't have a car freshman year, so I only went home either with my friend Dan or on a rare occasion my friend Alex from high school. And so I'd go home first semester every chance I got because it was so new. But eventually it'd be months before I went home. And so I met friends who were in love with anime, and we'd all like play Super Smash Bros. In the basement. We watched Dragon Ball Z together. We'd watch Power Rangers and Super Sentai. We'd watch Bleach, and my love for anime just grew from that because I was with people who were like me. Um, And I feel so grateful for them for that because I went through depression in college, and it was a struggle. But hanging out with them made it a lot better, and having that in common was amazing. And then through a mutual friend, I found out that Seth started working for our broadcast department, which is what I went to school for. So I meet Seth, and again, the connection to me feels almost instant. Seth is a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a New York Giants fan. So that rivalry was something we could talk about. And started talking about wrestling. I'd hold wrestling nights at my house, and all my friends would come, and then Seth started to attend those, and that was dope. And then I'd talk about anime, and Seth would be like, "Man, I mean that's cool, but I don't watch it." And I'd push the issue, and I'd push the issue, and then finally, uh, over COVID break, when we're both done with our college years, he starts watching anime, and he lets me know, and I'm excited for him because that's such an amazing thing. Because I've been pushing for this. I'm like, once you're in it, once you're a part of the culture, you never go back. And so far he hasn't. And in the last year, he's watched over 70 different anime, which is impressive because I don't think I hit 70 until my fourth or fifth year, just because one, it was a lot harder to get stuff without being on the internet, and it just wasn't as like easily accessible. And knowing that, and knowing like my relationship with Seth evolved throughout college, working in our broadcast department, hanging out after school, hanging out at lunch, et cetera, et cetera. It was a really great opportunity to build new sets of friendships because through him I found others that to this day I truly care for. And with all that in mind, we came about the idea of this podcast randomly through text because Zoe hit me up about an opportunity of going to a convention. And I was like, yo, that sounds dope, but we should really, figure out what we want to do about a podcast, because I've been saying for years I want a podcast. And now that I finally have this opportunity, I'm going to embrace it with everything I have. And then Zoe invited Seth into the process because he'd been talking to him about also going to a convention. And now we're here. So if you guys don't take anything away from this podcast besides just three friends just trying to have fun, talk about anime and what it means to them, then just know that this is a project that all of us care about. So whether 100 people listen or 2, we're going to give our all. And I hope this evolves into something that we can look back on, whether it makes money or not, that this was a group effort and it mattered, and that our product shows that. And that's all we have to say for an intro.